with B Bad and Brandon. Whoop. Oh.
Yes.
We always clap. I think Cleo's like, you're a retard. Oh, you can't say that. No, I'll edit that out. Anyways, welcome back to episode 8 of the Platform Podcast. We are your hosts, Brandon Greco and...
Johnny B Bad.
Johnny B Bad what?
B Bad.
Yeah, but what's your last name?
Bad.
Nelson. Anyway, today we welcome a very special guest. How would you do? Strongest person alive? Yeah, that seems pretty fit.
Real fucking strongest person.
Just like super strong?
No, I wouldn't.
I think I would.
Nah.
So we have in front of us, sitting with us, Chleo Van Wyk. Did I pronounce that right?
Very close. It's Van Wyk, but I doubt.
Sorry.
I doubt anybody's gonna get that. But
I was nowhere near close then. How did you pronounce it?
Van Wyk. So Chleo Van Wyk. It's just the South African way of saying it, but the Aussie way is Van Wyk.
It's spelt Wyk.
Spelt. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Nobody's really gonna get it because it's South African. It's Dutch. So.
Yeah, and so for the listeners, you're from South Africa?
Yeah, from South Africa.
Born there?
Born there, moved here when I was 18, turning 19.
And how old are you now?
I'm 29 now.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I thought you were way younger.
No, 29, turning 30 this year.
Gemma, you just laughing like, nah, she old.
Old girl.
Oh, so yes, we have a little question for you.
Yes, sure.
21 words, who you are and what you do. Wait. Every word is counted.
R's,
R's and ums.
Any swearing.
And you can't go over 21. That's it. You ready? I'm going to count them.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and count them, sorry.
So
I'm going to try and count them.
Just real quickly, start with no fingers and then go to fingers.
And that's 10 and then close them down?
And then close them back down. That way...
New system,
just improved. Podcast exclusive. And go.
Elite female powerlifter. Been lifting over 10 years. Currently working as a sleep and respiratory consultant. Live in Brisbane, Morayfield at the moment.
You tried.
That was hard.
It is hard.
It's really hard.
We did a podcast like just interviewing each other. We struggled.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, now we kind of feel...
I used a lot of ums and ahs.
Yeah.
I tried not to, but it's like... Ugh.
It's like... Ugh. Yeah. So you did mention in that 21 words that you're an elite level powerlifter.
Yes.
Let's just expand on that. For the people listening, what's your biggest total? Body weight and then the biggest lifts.
So last year, my final total that I achieved was 705 kilos at 78.6 kilos body weight.
Fuck.
That's me doing a really big cut, an over 10 kilo cut. That took over 8 months bringing my body weight down. But it's also a big water cut for me to get to that body weight.
What do you naturally sit at?
I naturally sit around 88, sometimes 90 kilos.
Yep.
The heaviest I've ever been is 92. However, I didn't feel comfortable at that weight. At my height, 165 centimeters tall, at 92 kilos, I just feel too heavy.
Yep.
So 85, 87, I feel really good at that weight.
And what are you sitting at around now?
Now I think I'm around 88.
Yep.
What was the breakdown on those lifts?
So that was a 280 squat, a 160 bench press, and that was a
265.
Yeah, 265. See, I get confused because there's numbers that I've hit that's more than that.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly thinking of my comp lifts and not thinking about my best lifts.
Okay, what's your best lifts then?
So yeah, the 280 squat, I've done like a 165 bench, and I've done 282.5 deadlift.
Fuck.
Wow.
And then doing my comps, I've not really maxed out. I've known I've got more potential there, so my comps have been more so easy. The last comps that I've done, knowing that I can still do more, but it's it's easier said than done.
Yeah,
It's just
because you are competing at the top level.
It's
You've won the comps in Australia. You've won pretty much everything.
Yeah, if I think back to my last worst ever comp I've done in Australia was ProRaw when this would be 3 years ago now.
ProRaw 10.
I think it was, yeah, and that was my worst comp to date. I just bombed it. I missed a lot of lifts. I think I only got 4 out of my lifts. My worst ever comp. I think I came second. My first ever second I got for ProRaw, which was it caught me a bit off guard because I did things differently coming into that comp. Because I used to cramp lifting, so I did a sodium load. And I took more sodium tablets than what I normally did. So every lift I did, I was dizzy and I completely bombed my whole... That really took me back. And again, I was really annoyed with myself. And so that was the last ever ProRaw I've done in Australia. That I hated, actually, because I knew I could have done so much better. It was the first time I know I only came second, but it was the first time I had to realise that I lost. That I did not, because I have never really dealt with losing. I don't know how to explain it. I've gotten so used to winning and it just coming so easy. When you actually lose and you come second, it just hit me. I was like, it actually hit Jam harder than what it hit me. Initially, I was a bit like, oh yeah. And it took a while for it to hit home, and I was like, okay, where am I at? What am I doing? I really needed to reassess what I want to do and what I want to achieve in the sport, especially within Australia or where I want to take it competitively, if I want to take it overseas. That was that sort of turning point for me because I did so bad and I was like, but I'm not done. I did so bad. I know I've got so much more to give. It's not been easy. The last few years of my lifting has been, as I've gotten stronger, it's been harder. It's been, now that I'm 29, it's been a lot harder for me to keep that focus.
Would you say that losing, because you know going to ProRaw, you were probably considered the favourite, and that pressure and expectation, did that play a part in what you think your performance went?
I feel like even myself, I put a lot of pressure on myself. I always have, not just in lifting, throughout school, throughout everything I've done. I put a lot of pressure on myself. This is what I got to do. This is what I have to achieve. It's just, I'm just hard on myself. But I learned from that. I learned from that experience that sometimes things are out of your control and you can't control the outcome. But sometimes the industry can be a bit harsh and people can be nasty and people don't really understand your story and what's happened. People just assume that, you've just done you're shit, but they don't understand what's actually happened. And a lot of people assume they just know, she's gone bad, or they don't understand. People want to judge.
As soon as something happens, there's judgment straight out.
Straight away.
Would you say you needed that experience though to take you to where you are now?
Yes, I did. I felt it made me hungrier to achieve more because I knew I could do more. But it's almost like I hit a wall and I was like, where do I go? Because all those years of training, I've never had a coach.
Okay, so you've all been self-coached.
I've never had a coach.
Wow.
So I had to look at things differently. I had to look, okay, so I've maxed out my potential here. What's next? So where do I go? Where do my competitions lie? How can I push myself to get better? How can I be better? And that's where I decided, hey, I need to reach out to a coach. Because yes, I can keep pushing myself, but there comes a point where you just slow up on yourself. You get so used to...
I guess it also comes back down to like you only know what you know.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of things that you probably know you don't know, but you don't know where to go for it.
Yes.
And then I guess the best way and the easiest way is fucking talk something. Have a conversation.
Yeah.
So who'd you reach out to?
So I've always been friends with CC Ingram overseas. She's an American lifter. she's one of the best in the world. I've always been friends with her. We've always been sort of neck and neck in our lifting, and I've always looked up to her, and she's always looked at my lifting, and we've always sort of had a bit of a friendly rivalry.
Yeah.
And I knew her husband at the time was coaching her, and I could just see her. She was just dominating. So I met them. I went over I wanted to do the US Open, the first initial one.
Ooh.
That was after the ProRaw.
That was your next comp?
That was after ProRaw. But yet I still didn't feel ready. I still didn't feel 100% in it.
Yep.
I don't know what it was. I just mentally, I didn't feel ready to give it my all. So we booked everything, and we just went along to meet everybody. I had to pull out, and I just said, no, I'll just go for the experience and meet people.
Yep.
So I went along and I met everybody, and that's when I first met Cece, and I met most of the lifters in the American scene of powerlifting.
Yep.
A lot of them have no idea, didn't know who I was. They just, I guess Australia's, they know some lifters, but they know all the American lifters. So yeah, I met them. I met DJ Holcomb, and he comes from American football background. Very, very like-minded like myself. We just clicked straight away, and I knew if I was going to go to a coach, I knew there were lots of amazing coaches here in Australia that I could have turned to. But after talking to him and meeting him as a person, I could just tell, and seeing what he's done for Cece as well. So this is another thing about competition. You got to stick with your competitors. So if you can see that your competition is doing that, you're not going to go and do something else completely opposite. You're going to stick with your competition. So I could see this is what Cece was doing, so I got to do that. Yeah, I don't have to do it exactly how she's doing it, but I've got to do that amount of work. I got to do. So I knew my best way, my smart decision would be to stick with what she's doing.
Yeah.
Because I know he would have been pushing the hell out of her to get where she was. So I knew I had to get coaching with him.
So that's when you started coaching with him after that?
Yeah, I started coaching with him. He purely just straight away had to sort of learn me as an individual and as a lifter, because I responded very different to CC. And we're very, very similar in our height, our lever lengths and all these things, but we responded differently to volume and intensity. So the first few months was definitely a bit of an experiment with the training, but holy hell did I progress.
Yeah. What did you find he changed the most? What did you, from your perspective? Volume? Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Lots more work.
Lots of work. Lots
across the main lifts or accessory work, or everything just in general?
Everything in general. Well, it was less bodybuilding, but there was more volume with the heavy stuff. So alternations of squatting, alternations of deadlifting, and variations of benching, heavy as well. So accessories, so your blocks, your rack pulls, banded squat, pause squats, those sorts of, doing a lot of work after your top sets. Trying to dig deep and do the work in that. And that's where I found it really set me apart. Instead of just taking it easy after you've done your top sets, really digging deep and putting that work into that accessories afterwards, where I noticed he just broke it down even more for me. And it was hard. Last year, the year before that, I trained my ass off. I honestly did 3 hours or more in the gym late. Some nights I was there till 1 a.m.
Was it nice not to have to go to the gym and think about your own stuff? Like you just rock up and it's there and you can be like...
Oh, it was so good. So the way he works, he uses an Excel spreadsheet that he just updates every day, an app on my phone, and he just updates it weekly, and I send my videos through to him, and he just goes, yep, how did that feel? And I was constantly just keeping him in the loop. It's just that constant communication, talking to your coach and back and forth. This is how I'm feeling. Being honest with yourself as well. You can never let your ego get the better of you and jump ahead. Oh, I feel stronger because of this. It's just following and having trust in the process. Even though, yes, there's some days where, this is easy. It's just I knew coming from him, it would never be truly easy. I knew to get to where I wanted to be on that level, I knew every training session is going to be a flogging. Like, if I'm not prepared sleep-wise, food-wise, I wouldn't be able to get through. There was days where I just couldn't do it because I wasn't prepared. And that's initially I just had to get... And then it took me a good month to settle in and get... Right, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this right. I've got to do this right.
So what did you total at ProRaw 10?
ProRaw 10, I think it was... What was it? It was probably 660 something, but it was only like my first attempts. I only got I completely flopped.
Yeah.
Completely
So
flopped.
you started working with, was it DJ, sorry?
DJ, yeah.
And then when was your next comp after that?
My next comp, I tried to do that following year, the US Open.
Yep.
Which I didn't. I pulled away because I was still not mentally ready. Yeah.
How was your training going? Were you working with DJ at the time?
No, for ProRaw.
No.
No, I'd never had a coach before that.
Yep.
Never.
And then from there, when you started, what was your first comp with DJ?
Their first comp with DJ was the US. I did the US Open. I think it was the second one.
2019. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I came third against the light girls because it's all about Wilkes.
Oh, it's Wilkes.
Yeah. Okay.
So Mariana, Steffi Cohen. Mariana took up first, Steffi Cohen took up second, and I took up third. And Cece decided not to do it, which I wanted Cece to do it so I could go.
You guys would be head to head.
Yeah, we can. This has always been a thing with us. We've always wanted to go head to head with each other. But she had a big falling out with DJ at the time, and she just decided no. So she was just there helping me on the side.
That's super cool. She still hung around and helped you out.
Yeah, it was hard though because DJ couldn't be there because of their breakup and stuff. Yeah. So there was just a lot of politics and that sort of stuff going on in the background. So I sort of had to decide. Well, I'm friends with both of them. He's going to be my coach. I can't just drop him because I'm friends with her too. So it's just I've just been. Unfortunately, now I don't talk to her anymore. She's just decided to go her own way, and she's just sort of, I think because she's seen I've decided to stick with DJ as my coach, she's shut me out. She's just the last, very, 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 very last comp I did last year, Tribute in America.
Where you went the 705?
Where I got the 705, she was there, and we decided to go head to head.
How was that?
I would have beat her on my last deadlift, but I missed it.
Oh, damn it.
That's how close it was.
275? What was the last one?
Yeah. My last one. 2 kilos. She lost by 2 kilos.
Damn. How close did you get off the ground?
Yeah, I got it to my knees. I was just spent because of that big cut. I know if I came in fresher, and again, there's a lot of other things that me and DJ have learned. If I did another IV, intravenous midway through my comp, I would have even felt fresher. So all these things, it's kind of like a recipe.
Yep.
Like, put this in there and I would have been... It was energy. At the end of the day, energy... It wasn't strength. It was... I just physically had no more energy in me to finish. And she knew I would have beat her too. She cried. She cried, but nothing but respect for her. She's an amazing athlete, and ever since then, it's just been nothing from her. Yeah,
it's got to help get the best out of you having a rival, like for better word, like that to be always against.
It has helped me, I must admit, this competition, especially when you're at such a high level, and the harder it's gotten for me. It's helped me having that competition because you want to get better. You know you got to beat this person. This is competition. Yep. But I always try and be respectful. You can't really control if you're going to lose at the end of the day. So that day I got second to her, but I always know in the back of my mind that I can do so much more. And this is the beauty of competition, 2 kilos, a difference of 2 kilos.
That's pretty cool.
it's just like, she knows it, I know it. We all do comps and life goes on and things get harder. So it's just a matter of pushing. If I'm capable, it's me. I've got to be in it fully for me to do it.
So how do you look at, losing now?
Losing now?
Yeah. So when you came second this time round, was it easy to handle? Did you manage it or?
Yes, I did actually. I can't say that I wasn't disappointed. Part of me was, because I knew DJ, he really wanted it. I don't know why, but, I guess because of him and Cece, they had their rivalry. So he was behind me like, yeah, you got it. You got to get her. We got this. So that positive reinforcement. But there was a part of me that was disappointed because I know I wanted it and I know how much I pushed for it.
I think disappointment in losing those, it's okay. Like,
yes.
If you weren't disappointed, you didn't want it hard enough. So
exactly, yeah.
If you had said, I was fine with it, I'm like, oh, okay.
Just means it's important to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was, me stepping away and going back to the drawing board and, life has gone on. This is another thing with powerlifting. It's for me to keep going to America to compete has not been cheap. I'm constantly putting my life in the back burner to compete. To keep, because for me to compete, I need to commit everything in my life. It needs to go towards my lifting. Otherwise, I'm doing it half-heartedly. That's the logic of it all.
And you go all in on everything.
Yes, I have to. Otherwise, why am I doing it?
Yeah.
Why am I doing it if I'm not going to commit fully to it? I honestly, it becomes my life. Eat, sleep, it's all powerlifting. Constantly. I work, go train, work. That's all it was. That's all Jem saw was. I literally turned into a robot. It's kind of sad, but it's the truth. For me to achieve that, to be at such a level and you want to achieve that, you can't let anything else interfere.
And I guess, we've got your partner Gemma sitting in with us, and what kind of role, I guess, or how much easier is it having a partner like Gemma who is so supportive?
That is a hard one because I wouldn't say, a lot of people, it's hard to find a partner that will stick by you, especially when you're committing all of you to lifting.
Because it takes away from, obviously...
Yeah, it takes away from everything else in life, like wanting to go out on weekends, go to even the beach when you need to be eating and you need to get ready to train. But once you have that support in your partner, it's a big relief. You know that they're there for you to count on, for you to help. Some days I didn't have anybody to help me in the gym, but I know I could count on her. She'd come in and she'd be there to spot me. But then there's some days where she couldn't, where I just have to rely on myself. That's been one of those things in lifting that I've realised that I won't always have a team around me. I've never had a team around me. It's a bit sad, but I've trained by myself a lot and just do it. Sometimes there's somebody there and sometimes there's not.
Yeah, it's just you versus the barbell.
It is nice though. Since I've been in Brisbane, it's nice having more friends that are in powerlifting, like Susie. And when I do come in here, I talk to way more people.
Our gym's always open.
It
just makes it like having you in's great. All the girls chat to you and they always learn something. Because you're qualified ex-phys from memory?
So I studied. So we initially, when we moved from South Africa, our family, my mum, my dad, my sister, we moved to Rockhampton. And that's where I studied exercise and sports science. And then I majored in exercise medicine. And then I went into exercise physiology.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cool.
You said why? I was
wow. No, that's super cool.
So it took me a good 6 years. Yeah.
We're deaf. We're really deaf. This is why we have other people doing our things now.
Yeah, it took me long. It took me a long time to do it. I came straight out of school and went straight into uni, and I was sick of it by the end, honestly.
Nice.
And then that's all through my studies. That's where my training started, and I was starting to apply everything I was learning. I was starting to train, and initially I started training in bodybuilding.
Yep.
My partner at the time was very into bodybuilding, and it kind of rubbed off on me. So I started bodybuilding.
And were you thinking about maybe I'll hop on stage and do all that sort of stuff?
I did.
You did?
I did one figure.
Did you?
Yeah, funny, eh?
How was that?
It was an experience. I hated the diet. I hated it. But again, I was so young. I was only, 21? 1 or 2 years of training, and I decided, hey, I'm going to hop on stage. And I met, is she one girl that trains here, is it Elise? She trains with you guys. Abby's sister.
Oh, Lisa. Oh, really?
I competed with her.
Did you?
Yes, so small world. I came all the way down to
Very
Brizzy,
small world.
and my first ever figure physique competition was with her.
No way.
And she was right next to me.
Really?
Yeah, right next to me, and we still to this day we chat because we competed together on the same stage. But I never ever could bring myself back to getting onto the stage for bodybuilding. I just didn't enjoy it that much to want to do it again.
How'd you go in the comp?
I placed, but that's about it. I don't even think I did amazing. Yeah. I was a rookie. I dieted. I got really lean, but not lean enough.
Yeah.
Would you ever do it again?
I wouldn't.
That's the answer we wanted, so that's okay.
It's just not worth it. In the end, 20 minutes on stage for me, I didn't enjoy it. It was too much controversy, too much judging, too much. If you're not that package, you're not that package. Whereas with powerlifting, you're either strong or you're not.
Yeah, it's very objective as opposed to subjective. You know, a judge's interpretation of whatever. However, I don't know fucking thing about bodybuilding, but. You know, powerlifting is objective. If you can't lift the weight, you can't fucking do it. Yeah. You can't say this or that. It's just, that's it.
Is that how you gravitated to powerlifting after that?
Yeah, so then I was training at Good Life Gym in Rocky.
Yes.
Good Life, and I met Odell
No way.
Manuel.
Wow.
Yeah, and me and him were good friends, and he trained with a few other guys. Sean, that was his coach at the time. I think he owns a strength gym in Rockhampton, Scrutiny Strength. And Odell was like, you should really think about powerlifting. Odell was lifting there, and I'd always watch him lift. And I did some squats, I did some deadlifts, and I played around with some benching as a bodybuilder, as a complete rookie, not knowing what to do. And he's like, that's the national record that you're repping for 10. And he was like, you should go and do it. And I was like, what? And I was like, really? And he's like, no, really. And Sean's like, no, really, you need to do this. Yeah. And then that was when I approached Glenn Hansen. He is a strength and conditioning coach in Rockhampton. Which knew a bit about powerlifting. He's like, go and do this PA comp in Brisbane. And I did my first. I only had 4 weeks to do a bit of squatting, a bit of benching and deadlifting. Yeah. Nothing crazy. I didn't even have the proper knee sleeves or anything. I didn't even have a proper belt. And I just rocked up to a little comp in a little shack. I can't even remember where it was. And I think I broke like 16 national records. Shit. Just I hadn't even been in the federation long enough to even claim those records, because I think you have to be in the federation for like 3 months before you can claim them.
Oh, wow.
So I broke all these open and junior records, and I was like, oh, yeah. And I think it was Jessica Gilbert that I met. Yeah. And we were like, and I was like, I'm going to come for you. I just like being... And then, ever since then, I went back to Rocky, and I just kept training, and I kept going on, kept lifting, kept going in I did the national comp, I think what they call it, the fitness expos. Yep. I did them. I did the world championships. Yeah, all of that. As I got stronger, I was just like, I'm getting stronger, but I was like, I need more. I want to do more. So in the end, I ended up retiring from PA, and I went into, overseas. That's when ProRaw was like, you need to come over to ProRaw.
Yeah.
I think that's where I made my jump from lifting natty natural for about 5 years.
I'm so glad you said, explained what natty meant, because someone's going to be listening going, yeah, what's natty?
Yeah, that's when I ultimately decided that I wanted more from my lifting, because I was lifting for about 5 years then, where I decided, hey, I need more. And in order for me to do more, I need to think about these other avenues in terms of drug use, steroid use. If this is around, if this is in competition, if this is where you want to be, this is an avenue or road that you have to go down. And
it's backed by a really athletic. You're an athlete first.
Yes.
And these, yes, they are called performance enhancing drugs for a reason. And then if you want to be the best and at the top level, you got to look at this as a real option, which is a hard decision to make, especially being female.
Yes.
And for you, what was I know you say you wanted more. How long did it take you to make that jump?
Well, so all through my natural lifting, I use supplements. So because my partner at the time used steroids, was on the gear, so I could. They were always there. It was just I could have easily have hopped on and go, right, let me hop on. But all those years, I decided to lift as a natural lifter. I use supplements. I was probably that's probably my downfall. I was probably not careful enough with what supplements I was using in terms of pre-workouts and enhancers and things like that. I just took supplements, even though I got tested all the way through blood testing and urine testing at home or at comps. I just wasn't careful enough in terms of my supplement use. Even though I knew steroids was there, and it was never my choice to go, okay, decide to take the steroids. I decided to take supplements. And so once I retired, there was that whole big, you guys would probably know, there was that whole big controversy around my name from testing positive for some, I don't even know, it was for some sort of supplement. Australian at the time. And that sort of hit me all off guard, because I was like, shit, I wasn't careful enough with all my supplement use. By the end of it, I just took any supplements, not the gear, because I knew the gear was there. Yep. I could have easily have taken it. But yes, I was like, wow, I was reckless in terms of supplement use. And then once I retired, and after all that conflict, I guess, went down, I said, okay, well, I know this is my next route. I have to go. This is where I want to go next. And that's when I completely, wholeheartedly decided to hop on performance enhancing drugs. But yes, it took me a long time to get there.
Was it a hard decision to make?
No, because by that stage, I got really reckless in terms of my supplement use. And that's probably my downfall. I wasn't strict enough with my supplements that I used. I just went, use that pre-workout, I'll use that. Even though all those years I got tested and I was clean for everything that I did.
So it's just I guess all that supplements kind of just broke down the barriers of entry into taking gear.
Yes, pretty much, all the natural performance enhanced, natural this. And
you were just kind of looking for that next thing. And it just kind of led you down this path.
Yes, until in the end that wasn't natural, and that's what flagged me straight away. And I was like, oh shit, well, okay. That I didn't even know that I went over that line, but it was at that time. It's still on the list of a banned substance, and that was a banned substance. So I had a flag against my name, and to me it was like, I was just taking supplements.
Yeah.
And then because I knew so much about the gear, it was there. We did a lot of, with my partner, we did a lot of study about it, a lot of reading. I was like, it's hard for people to accuse you're on the gear when you were never on the gear. This is the hardest thing, because I'd taken supplements for all these years, and they're natural supplements.
Yeah.
I guess peptides and natural supplements, and then once that all happened, I was kind of really mad as well. I was mad at the whole outcome, because I'd been all athletes take supplements.
Yeah.
And so I was mad at myself for not being more careful in terms of what supplements I was using. And that's when I decided, I was like, right, I know this is what I'm gonna hop on, and I decided to start.
From like having previous conversations with yourself, like you have a very strong, I guess, belief system around it, but you're very smart about it. Like we see, I think a lot of, and I've been asked as a coach before, young females come up to me, they've just entered the sport and they're like, I want to take this, I want to take that, and like straight away I'm like, no, like no fucking way, like I don't know enough about performance enhancing drugs in a female sense to ever give an opinion, but the first thing I'll do is say no.
Yes, yeah.
But you have a strong, I think, mission where you're very happy to talk about it and educate women.
Yes, yeah, I am. I would rather have people know than go down a blind route and do it the wrong way. And I know there's a lot of arrogant people out there that won't even listen to you, and they'll go ahead and hop on it anyways without any proper plan. They'll just but yes, this is on the rise. I'm seeing a lot of female lifters, and I know there's a lot of guys out there that just are hopping onto the gear blindingly, and they just with no actual plan, no actual guidance, they're just doing it and causing a detriment to themselves long term. And then it's almost as though they haven't fully taken their potential in their training or their nutrition. They haven't gone through all those steps first. They want it now. They don't want to wait.
It's impatience.
Impatience. Yeah. That is what it is.
It's kind of like maximising your own potential first before you even start considering.
Because before you even look at performance enhancing drugs, like if we broke it down, they're there to enhance performance. But once you've got everything else in order, once you've got your, as you said before, you had your sleep in order, you had your fucking nutrition sorted, you had your training dialed in, and you kind of hit this point of like, I'm kind of hitting a wall here, and performance enhancing drugs, they make you recover better.
Yes.
So,
and that's what it was for me. As a natural lifter for all that time, I hit the potential of, what was I squatting? I was squatting over 200 kilos. I was benching over 120 kilos as a natural lifter. See, this is what I mean. I hit that potential. I was deadlifting 210, I remember. And I knew that avenue was down there for me to take. It was just a matter of me going, right, I'm in. This is what I'm going to do. But I wanted to take my natural potential. I wanted to be ready, and I wanted to do it the right way. And unfortunately for me, not being more careful with my supplement use, it kind of opened that avenue to me regardless, because of me testing positive. It was just like, right, this is your only next step. Is to go that route, which I honestly like.
At that point, it sounds like you're like, oh well.
Yeah,
shit happens.
It was like that. It really was. It was like, oh, shit happens. I have been taking supplements for all these years. This is where I'm at in my lifting career, and this is where I want to be. This is where I want to be. Yeah. It was. I know it wasn't necessary. I know everybody has their views, and they're entitled to their views. And I know there's always going to be a negative stigma around steroids, which there always will be, because people abuse it.
100%.
Yeah, they just abuse it like alcohol. Yeah, like alcohol, like any other drug, they abuse it. But for me, and having my partner with me at the time that was so on it in terms of steroids and any performance enhancing drugs, I think that was a big thing, having that guidance and learning and reading and going through it all and going, okay, so this is the way I want to do it.
And everything you do is obviously monitored by, doctor or whatever?
Yes. So getting your test, your blood work done, it's constant 3 months, 3 month windows where you need to get your testing. And
I think a lot of people get really concerned, like, they go to a doctor or something like that, and not saying do it or anything, but if you are going to do it, you've got to do it right. Be open with your doctor.
Yeah.
Ask for advice. Just go find the education before you make that decision, because there are side effects, which in some of them are really good, like you get stronger.
Yeah.
But there are also negative side effects, especially I think being female, there are a lot more side effects. Like there is a lot more risk at it.
Unfortunately, steroids react completely different to a male body. So they affect females completely differently, if I say it better. So it's the complete opposite effect. And it affects a female body, let's say, the effects of it is doubled, even tripled. So we cannot think like we're going to take it like a male, or take the dosages of what males do, take what males take. It's not at all like that. It's the complete opposite. So as a female, you need to be very, very careful what you look at, the quality, what it is that you're taking. You need to do your research. And remember, a lot of things out there is fake. You're not getting what you think you're getting. Unfortunately, it's everywhere in Australia, so you have to be very, very careful. I know some people test whatever they're getting. They make sure they get it tested, or again, you got to be very, very careful. You have to be. It's
because the information's available out there. People, I think there is a big stigma around just too afraid to ask. And there's people like yourself now, Broderick Chavez over in the US are doing good things where they're bringing the education forward, they're bringing the information forward to stop people doing dumb shit. Yeah. Because, as you said before, people abuse it.
Yes.
And then it gets taken to the extreme, and then you hear more negative stories where it's like, yes, taking these things are a risk, but the risk can be controlled.
Yes.
Everything we put in can be controlled, or at least monitored better, so bad shit doesn't happen.
But another thing, on the other end of the spectrum, there are people that just don't care.
Yeah, that's good. Scary.
They don't care. There really is. Or this is the beauty of competition, they want it now.
Yeah.
They will put their life, they will put it on the line for that competition and that achievement that they want now. I've seen it. It ruins bad. People. It is bad, yes. They will, if they're taking up to 7 different compounds, it's just to achieve that. If it means to put their body into shock before they make weight and they have a fit, they will do it.
Fuck. Because you mentioned before, was it the tribute meet? You said you're talking about putting another IV in,
yes,
and that's like something.
This is what I mean.
Yeah, that's an extreme thing.
Yes,
but at that elite level,
you do it. Because it's a matter of competing at that level or not. There's a fine line that you draw in the sand. If I'm going to go down this route, I'm going to do it right, and you can't half-ass it. And yes, my first cut, I blacked out. I fainted because I was going for my IV, and the nurse put the needle in the wrong vein, in my artery instead of the vein. And I was about to black out. And yes, there are those risks that you take, and you as an athlete, if you're at that level and this is what you want, you need to be prepared to roll with the bads. As the bad punches come, you got to be prepared for it. And again, this is the better you get at your sport and your trade and this recipe, the better you know how to deal with things. So I did the US Open, I did my cut, it was okay. I did my tribute, I did it even better. And if I did another one, I would have learned from the tribute. So this is what I mean. You just get better and better the more you do it.
Everything you do, you seem to really take that, as soon as it happens, it's, all right, let's reflect. How can we get better?
Yes. But you got to be
That's
so
a fucking
aware.
athlete mindset. That you have to. If you want to be at the top of your fucking game, and you are, you're totaled 705 at some stupid body weight. What the fuck?
It's ridiculous.
You don't get there by accident. You get there in this pursuit of excellence of how can we do things better?
It's a recipe. You have to be on it, everything. Everything you have to be on it. There's no room for error.
Yeah.
Especially when you're playing with your life to such a degree and cutting so much weight. There's a fine line between just bombing the whole comp. That's what it is.
And then having detrimental effects to your health and all this other stuff that can compound.
Yes, and it's all about, this is what I mean, doing it smart. And once you've trained for such a long period of time, getting ready for this back-to-back comps, when am I going to stop? When am I going to have that break? When am I going to step away and go, no, I'm having my break, I'm letting my body recover. People think, oh, you've just stopped training, but there's a reason, there's a method to it all. There's a reason why I'm not doing that now. Because, again, my body tells me. I can just tell when I'm in it and when I'm not.
You see a lot of people, especially now, they just, I guess, they think, because, you know, a big thing is they take these drugs and like, I can just go comp to comp to comp.
They
like,
just
no,
keep doing it. Yeah.
You just can't. Like, that's not how this shit
they
works.
Get injured. You see the injuries come. It's just they keep pushing and pushing.
And like, that's the first warning sign. Stop.
Yep.
Fucking don't keep putting your foot on the gas. Like, just take a break. There's always, powerlifting's not going anywhere. And I think that's what people think. Like, they're like, oh, fuck, if I miss this,
there's always another comp.
There's always another comp. And I think people just get in this mindset, like, got to compete. Whereas, like, when's your next comp?
I don't know. I've decided right now, I've decided to step away from it.
Sweet.
Because I cannot commit. So if I look at my commitment last year, where I was mentally and physically, I'm just not at that point right now. And I need to accept that. And I can try and keep pushing myself. But if I'm mentally not in it, I can't push it.
Absolutely.
I can't. And you cannot, this is another thing, you cannot over-rely on drugs to get you there. You cannot keep pushing and hoping for miracles for you to get to that point.
I think that's another common mistake. You know, people get to the end of the meet, like, oh, this didn't work. It's like, yeah, but you slept like shit for the last 4 weeks. Or
exactly.
You didn't eat right. Like, there's before, and I want to really drill this home. It's like, for anyone listening, it's like, before you look at performance-enhancing drugs, there is so much other shit you need to take care of.
Yeah.
What's your personal life like?
Yes.
What stresses you're in your life? What's your food like? What's your sleep like? That's all part of that recipe that you speak of.
Yeah.
But people are so quick just to look at the pharmaceuticals. Like, nah, it's the fucking very last thing you look at.
I see it. People, this is one thing that really annoys me.
You can see it on her face. She's like, punch this wall down.
Powerlifters they want to take all these drugs and all this gear, but they're not willing to work.
It's an easy option.
I mean work. Yeah. I mean train your fucking ass off.
Oh, you can swear on the platform. It's
train your bloody ass off. Train till you cannot move no more. They're not willing to put that effort in, but they want to take all the gear under the sun.
That's a mindset thing.
It's like, why? Why are you wasting all that money and you're not willing to put that effort in? And this is what I'm seeing, and they wonder why they're not ahead. It's because they're lazy.
Just looking for shortcuts almost.
Yes, they want to take the short road. Yep. And this is what it is. Oh, I'll get stronger, but they don't want to train harder. They don't want to train smarter.
Why do you think that is? Like, I know you say it's like, you know, they want to take that short road because they're lazy, but I feel like people don't realize, like, you could get to that point, take the easy option, but you won't feel satisfied. You won't feel fulfilled or you won't feel like you achieved anything.
Well, they're achieving it, but they're achieving it slowly. They're not getting there. It's taking them years to get where they need to be instead of, it could take them, it shouldn't have to be that long. But again, I can't always judge and comment on other people. I know they're going through their own things in life.
Everyone's got their own journey to run and race to run.
Their own journey, yes. But that's just one thing I've noticed is people are easy to hop on the gear but not put the work in. The work and the effort in all those other things. I would rather work my bloody ass off without any of it and know that I'm doing that work and have that, than having to rely on that. I feel like that's what set me, I feel that's what set me apart, is I would rather just train for the love of it and train for that work and my work ethic than having to rely on the gear and go, oh, the gear, it's all the gear. It's not just the gear. There's so much more People think that it's just, oh, she's on the gear. It's just the gear.
Yeah, they don't see.
They ain't doing it for you.
Yeah.
They don't know how much work you have to put in, even when you're on such a high level. Even when you're on the gear, you have to put in a shitload of work.
And then sacrifices you got to make.
Sacrifices.
To allow you to do that.
People will just judge, oh, it's just the gear.
And they don't see any of the prior work. It like fucking test ain't lifting the bar.
Yeah.
Like it's still you under it.
Yeah.
You got to get everything else in check.
Yeah, they don't see the sacrifices, but it's part of the sport. I've come to realize that there's always going to be people that are going to have judgments,
and I think people, I guess, and it's not for them, and that's okay. And the choices we make as individuals is completely fine, but it comes back to what you said, respecting just other people, that they're running their own race.
Yeah. I have learned that we're all individuals. We all choose to push as hard as what we want to push. That's your choice. But for me personally, I feel like it's my upbringing that's really reflected into who I am and as a person and why I push so hard. Maybe it's the Dutch South African in me that just wants to. When I go all in. Like I cannot just give it. I can't give 50%. Otherwise, why?
Got to be everything.
I have to give my all, and yeah.
So you said now you're having a break.
Yes.
Do you think you still got more to give?
I always know this is the thing about my lifting.
Gemma's like, oh fuck, here we go.
I've always know I've got so much more because every comp I do, I feel I've got so much more to give. Is
there an end point?
See, I don't know. I don't know. This is the thing. Like
Gemma's like again, fuck.
I know her potential, and I really want her to achieve it.
Yeah.
It's just she needs to get into that mindset. She wants to do it. I want her to be able to go in there with her head right. That's what I was saying is I know my potential and how much more I've got to give to the sport.
It's just got to make sure your mind's ready to follow.
But I really want it because right now where I'm at is I'm not enjoying it anymore. I've been doing it for 10 years and I'm not enjoying it anymore. I don't know why that is. I feel like I've fallen out of love with it.
Yeah.
Not that I don't love it, but I feel like, oh, why am I doing this? Maybe it's because I just need a break. That's where I feel like I'm at the moment.
That's probably one of the smartest things ever. Like, you need a break, so you're doing it.
I'm taking a break.
How often do you see people just turn out the next one and the whole training run, they're like, oh, I fucking hate this.
Yeah,
oh, my body.
complaining.
Oh, my that. You don't have to do it. You can just have fun in the gym, right?
Step away if you have
as soon
to
as
step
you
away.
lose fun from something, as you said, it becomes a chore. Like,
yes.
It's become so much harder, and sometimes the best thing to do is...
My rule number one is it must be fun when I train.
It has to be fun.
Yes.
And like you said before, all of what you do is fun for you.
Yeah.
You enjoy every second of it, and the second it stops being fun, you got to pull back and reassess.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at the moment. I'm happy to step away. I know I've achieved so much last year, but I'm happy to step away now and just reassess and just focus on other things in life. I'm still going to train because I have a love and a passion for training.
Yep.
But in terms of my heavy lifting and that push I need to do, I need to step away from that.
Do you still work with a coach or anything at the moment, or are you just following your own stuff at the moment?
I'm following my own stuff. I've stepped away from, because with DJ it was purely we were going to get ready to do US Open now this year. I actually did 6 weeks with him to try and get me ready for it. A lot of volume, a lot of sets of 10, a lot of work to try and get me there since last year. I just couldn't. No matter how much I tried to push, I was lifting, I was moving all the weight, but I had no drive behind me. I'd had no wanting to do it. And this is another thing, you can't just keep pushing if you don't want it.
It's not pushing shit uphill. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I made the decision and I said to him, no, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm not in the right headspace to do it. So I've stepped away from it, and that's where I'm at the moment. It's a bit hard because powerlifting has been so much part of my life for so long. I kind of don't know what to do with myself.
So what do you do?
Yeah, what do you do? What you've got all this extra time now, I imagine, or some you are still training. What are you doing with it?
Yes, I am still training. I'm doing just sort of bodybuilding, fitness, cardio, that sort of different stuff. Yeah.
Whoa. Damn.
Yeah, nothing crazy, but yeah, still I cannot just not train. I still have so much energy, especially after work. It's like, oh, well, what? I don't just sit in front of the TV. I still want to train. So I'm still training. So I'm riding motorbike. I've got a road bike, so I'm out on the road.
Sick.
You know, just getting out, doing different things, maybe taking a bit of time and focusing more on myself and away from powerlifting.
Yeah.
It's kind of like trying to find myself.
Yeah.
It's
creating almost like another identity. Like you are labelled as, the powerlifter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So who am I when I'm not a powerlifter?
Yeah,
who
and
am I?
that's a fucking question I think a lot of people have to go through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like they're like, oh, they go fucking all in on something, and they're like, oh shit, wait, and then they can't do it for maybe they get injured, and they're like, what else do I do?
Yeah. So
What else can I do? And then I think once you start asking yourself, what can you do?
yeah.
A lot of opportunities and a lot of things start opening up because you're like, oh shit, I can do anything.
Yeah.
Really?
So I'm open to doing other sports, those sorts of things, maybe learning something else. But I know in the back of my mind, I'm always going to have this thing for powerlifting. I don't know what it is, but I'll probably, who knows, give it a bit of time. I'll come back to it. I feel like for me to really come back to it, I may need to have a better team around me to achieve those numbers, to achieve that 300 kilo squat I want to achieve, that 175 kilo bench, 300 deadlift that I want to achieve, that I know I've got it in me, but I know it's a big push for
Wednesday
me
squat crew.
We
come join
squat
us
on Wednesdays.
We squat on Wednesdays. Let us know when you want to come play.
Oh shoot, it's
It's a hell of a crew. We're a bit of an oddball, but
We are very odd.
we'll bring you a sandwich.
see what I mean? Is that sort of, I know that's what I'm lacking, and I think that's what I'll need to get me there.
Wednesdays and Saturdays.
I'll need to really change it up in terms
Yeah.
of what I did was last time is get a coach. This time I'd need a whole group or crew, So
We compete in Australia again?
this is another thing. Susie Maud has been asking me for months to compete.
Susie is a very persistent bitch. We're going to say that. She is a pain in my ass. But love you, Susie.
I do eventually, but I want to do it right. The reason also why I pulled away from ProRaw is just because I found the weight classes just didn't suit me. I was going up against girls that were much, much heavier than me. Like I was 88 kilos, 87 kilos, and the girls I'm going up against are over 100 kilos. So I'm like, maybe if there was a proper weight class for me, I would compete. I just wanted to be fair. That's all. Yeah. Fair enough if those girls can outlift me, which is great. They should, each to their own. But I just want that fairness in terms of weight classes and weight divisions. Which I just found it wasn't there in ProRaw for me, and that was another reason why I stepped away from ProRaw. There was just not a weight class for me. I want to go up against girls in my own weight class.
Yep.
That's the thing with CC. I knew we would go head to head. Even if I lose, I know I'm going up against somebody at my weight class, at my weight, and it's fair. It's like boxing. You want to go up against somebody at your weight class.
You're not going to fight someone 3 weight classes above you.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why I jumped over to America and went and started competing, not just to chase CC, but
Do you still follow her to see what she's lifting and stuff?
No, not at all.
No.
We've completely
Just disconnected. And
yeah. I think she does a thing on YouTube called Tea with CC, and I think she's announced that she's retired.
oh,
Yeah,
wow.
right.
I knew that was a thing with her, a long time coming thing with her. Who knows? I don't know if she'll hold to it. Because I know she's same boat as me. She has a great big passion for powerlifting, but it's been hard for her. As hard as what it's been for me, it's hard. I think she's had a few injuries and things that she's needed to work around. And she's had, other things go wrong in her life, and as we all do.
Yeah, life goes on.
Yeah.
So what's training look like for you now? You just sort of split it up 3 days a week, or you just coming in just doing whatever you feel like for the day, or like is there a bit of a loose plan to it at least? Or
it's weird because there's no I've really let off the pressure on myself in terms of training, which is odd because I'm always like, oh, okay, this day we squat, this day we bench. Now I'm like, how do I feel? Like, what do I want to do today? Yeah. So it's been a bit like that. So it's been
just
a bit...
train arms 5 days a week.
No.
Yeah, damn.
So it's like, how do I feel? What do I want to do today? So it's kind of just throwing it randomly, whatever I feel like doing. But yes, I'm still training about 4 to 5 times a week. But not being as strict with myself.
Occasionally move something heavy if you feel good.
Yeah.
Or not so much.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's really weird. I just don't want to squat. I don't want to bench. I don't want to even deadlift. Even though I love deadlifts, I'd love all those lifts, I don't want to do it. My body physically doesn't want to do it. I don't know. I would rather just go and push some dumbbells or hop on the leg press. It's really weird. My body's just like, no. It's Jem says it's sad. She says it's sad.
That was adorable. I'm sure she'll come back. I'll push her to come back. Wednesday, Saturday. Yes.
Yes.
No, that's awesome. All right, I think we've got 10 random questions.
Really important
before we
questions.
Finish off.
They're deep.
They're meaningful.
Rapid
fire.
They're probably going to throw you off guard.
Whatever first comes to your mind.
You have to say them.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
And they're big, yeah. Favourite colour?
Indigo blue.
Oh,
that is very specific.
I know, we haven't had any of that.
We have not had indigo blue. We had lots of blues. Favourite movie?
Taken.
1, 2 or 3?
1.
Yeah, good.
Fuck, that was a
OG
good
one.
movie.
Like it. If you could have dinner with anyone, who would it be?
Dead or alive?
Dinner? Was that dinner you said?
Yeah, dinner.
Oh, shit.
You've been taking me out for a while.
Oh, dear.
Just say Oprah.
Oh, there we go.
No, I have no idea.
What is your spirit animal?
A lion.
Yeah,
Favourite food?
Pizza, pasta.
Fuck
Yes.
yeah.
Would you rather look like a potato or feel like a potato?
Feel like a potato. You know, feel it.
Favourite superhero?
That's one thing about me. I don't really... I guess Wonder Woman. I guess because she's a woman.
There we go.
Inspiring.
Nice. Do you believe in Santa?
I think initially, yes. Those first few years of my life, I did. Until I saw my mum put the presents under the tree.
It's because Santa gave them to your mum.
And then it rapidly changed.
I'm on your side.
It rapidly, no.
Do you cry in movies?
Yes, I have.
What was the last movie you cried in?
I think it was probably some soppy love story like The Notebook or something like
Nice.
that.
Brilliant movie. Just saying.
Soppy love romantic story.
What's one thing you do now that would make you famous outside of powerlifting? Anything random.
Maybe do more of these podcasts.
Yes.
We only had one other person say the podcast.
I feel like a lot of people, I don't know why, but I feel like a lot of people are scared to talk to me. I've found a lot of people either in the powerlifting industry, or I don't know if it's intimidation, or people are just scared to openly ask me about things.
Yeah, but you're very much an open book. Like, I don't know, I think we're probably not the people that ask. We'll talk to anyone.
Yes, yeah.
We're the worst.
I think also maybe it's around like gear use and stuff
Yeah.
like that. People are just scared to like just talk to me about things. They know who I am and what I've achieved, but they're like, oh, they don't want to say much, or maybe, talking a bit more about certain topics that need to be spoken about. Maybe people would, get to know me a bit better. I think more, just in the industry, people just being,
Absolutely.
not everybody, but
There we go. Cleo's coming back.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I was like, we'll get her in.
No. But no, I do. I have nothing but respect for all the girls out there trying to achieve what they're trying to achieve, natty or not. I know it's not easy for girls to lift and get stronger, but they're out there. They're doing it.
Reach out. Where do we find you?
Well,
where do they find you? I know where to find you.
So I'm on Instagram. So it's just Chleo _V_Wyk, my surname, or just look me up on Facebook. Just put my full name in. The beauty of it is my name is pretty unique, so you're gonna find me. There's not gonna be many other Cleos out there.
I'll put it all in the show notes anyway. Thank you so much for joining us today. That was awesome.
Thanks,
I know
guys.
people listening are going to get a lot out of that. So we'll definitely get you back on.
Yes.
When? We'll decide next weekend. No, I'm just kidding. We'll get you back on. We can definitely delve more into your story. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Sweet. Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
We really need a smaller desk.